the way I communicate through email to space at 640toronto.com or Spaceman at 640toronto.com. So, it seems to me the final moments will come by an unparalleled earthquake, which is, of course, recorded in Revelation 16, chapter 16, lines 16 through 19, along with swift acting plagues and the earth being in complete shock leading up to the Battle of Armageddon. Because I believe the Illuminati are going to use the King James Version of the Bible in Revelation for the blueprint of what's to come. In lieu of the coming New World Order to be carved out of the modern European Union nations, which is already held in secret subjection to the growing and now massive Anglo-British Empire, a movement and foundation was set up way back in 1909 called the Round Table Society, which sought to create a world entirely governed by England, specifically by the city of London. In 1888, Cecil Rhodes, diamond mogul, owner of De Beers, realized his vision while collaborating with Alfred Beit and London banker Nathaniel Rothschild, expressing his belief in the inherent racial and cultural superiority of Anglo-Saxons, whites, and the Aryan race as a whole. Rhodes argued that only the British should rule the world. To this end, Rhodes put forth his own vision in an expanded British Empire that would be achieved by the formation of this Round Table secret society. The society would have its members in every part of the British Empire, including in the schools and universities, to select new members, and in the colonial legislatures where they would advocate the closer union of England and to crush all disloyalty and every movement for the severance from Britain, the mother empire. He also envisaged his secret society owning the press, because the press rules the minds of the people, and I believe that's already been done. Don't think for one moment those very remorseful words and that appearance by Rupert Murdoch, the chief executive officer of News Corp, that this guy was actually sincere. They put a show on for you. They're changing. That was an Illuminati event, changing the way news is being reported in England and soon in other countries also. In other words, they are now starting to scrutinize and regulate the press. And it will get more invasive as time goes on. This is just the beginning, because they're going to make it so that there is only one story. You only get one story. You cannot turn on AM 640 talk radio and get a view from space. It will be only the official line. Because you see, it's all about the press ruling the minds of the people. By the late 1890s, Cecil Rhodes embraced the idea known as the Empire Scholarships for white men drawn from the British Empire and the United States, with the aim to instill in the minds of the students the advantages to the colonies as well as to the United Kingdom of the retention of the unity of the empire by strengthening those invisible ties which keep together the Anglo-Saxon race. Rhodes's detailed instructions for his scholarship scheme provided for 60 students from the empire, 32 from the States, and a small number from Germany to be taught and accommodated at Oxford University in England for 1 year. And so the Rhodes scholarships were born. and still exists to this very day. It's still turning out the brainwashed personnel and placing them in highly powerful positions to forward the cause. Prominent Rhodes Scholarship alumni include the former U.S. President Bill Clinton, as well as at least 9 senior officials that served in the Clinton administration. There were 11 in the Kennedy administration. A few Rhodes Scholars are found in the current Bush or in the Obama administration, lending many to speculate that a disproportionate number of its candidates will continue to achieve the most prominent positions of power in business, law, intelligence, and the military. The Roundtable, you see, is also responsible for the formations of the Royal Institute of International Affairs, Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, and others, ultimately promoting the Anglo-racist global domination. The Global Roundtable is already here, but only in secret. Soon it will be all revealed and will be out in the open. When this celestial round table manifests on Earth, it'll be chaired by a Merovingian descendant of King Arthur, who was the fabled guardian of the Grail during his particular era of history. Another New Age book called The Light Shall Set You Free, recalling King Arthur's old mandate at Glastonbury, Avalon, confirms that England will be the future center for world transformation, enlightenment. It will be through the Grail in England that the energies of transformation and ascension will be channeled, which eventually will bring the Earth into what the Illuminati call the 7th Golden Age. I did a show quite a few months back about all of the ley lines in England and around the world, but mostly in England, where there are some incredible historic sites that date back to the ancient times that would just absolutely convince you that indeed Glastonbury, Avalon, will be the center, when England will be the future center for the world transformation of men into gods. According to the Messiah, the Second Coming, the concept of King Arthur's Round Table was based on that Last Supper of Jesus Christ and his disciples. King Arthur founded the Round Table, which legend dramatically declared was symbolically the same table present at the Last Supper. A high spiritual power wrote the name of the knight who should sit in each chair. Each knight must pass certain tests of valor before he could occupy a chair at the table. Spiritually, every aspirant of the holy life is tested before being permitted to enter into the activities of the special inner circle of the Round Table. The chair remains vacant until the perfect knight appears, portrayed by Sir Galahad, who said, "It's here that I must renounce all things in order that I may gain all." The true test of one questing for Christ consciousness, the Illuminati call it. The Masonic Christian belief of man evolving into a god. They believe knowledge is the key to elevate the self to become God. Roundtable conferences are commonly held throughout the globalist network, too. There's even a corporate roundtable that meets regularly. Yeah, a corporate roundtable. It's also becoming very popular among the ecumenically minded denominations and ministry of organized religion. The authors of the book Messiah and the Second Coming even conclude their discussion of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table in a chapter titled The Holy Grail, with the prediction of a global round table. Here's proof. I quote, "The future world round table is being created now in the etheric realms. The symbolic golden round table of King Arthur will eventually manifest on Earth, where political, scientific, and spiritual leaders from all nations of all the world will dedicate their lives to international objectives for the benefit of all. Above nationalism, above regionalism, above personality, for the benefit of all peoples. When this celestial round table manifests on Earth, it will be chaired by a Merovingian descendant of King Arthur, who was the fabled guardian of the Holy Grail during his particular era of history." Another New Age book, titled "The Light Shall Set You Free," recalling King Arthur's mandate at Glastonbury, confirms that England will be the center for world transformation. Here's a quote from that book. "Following the death of Jesus, Mary went to England with Joseph of Arimathea. This established the vortex for Camelot, designed to come forth later in the 5th and 6th centuries. The Grail was placed in Glastonbury for safekeeping at that time. It will be through the Grail in England that the energies of transformation and ascension will be channeled, which eventually will bring the Earth into what the Illuminati call the 7th Golden Age." Remember, in numerology, the number 7 represents spirituality. And the Grail in England, I believe, is a man. I believe is the Antichrist to come. Space, back with more in a moment on Talk Radio, AM 640. This is A View from Space.
This is Talk Radio, AM 640. Oakley in the morning, Bynum in the afternoon.